Let's enjoy those new releases.
All right. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, I played a lot of that game.
I've played a level of that game.
You should
I've
play
played
more of
none.
that game.
I want to play more of that game. It's good. I've only played a level, so I can't say that much about it. Other than the first level, there's a lot of walking involved. Like not a lot of doing, a lot of walking, and then I do something for like maybe 30 seconds.
There's more
More
doing
walking.
as you
Okay.
progress in the game, but there's surprisingly not a lot of fighting. At least I'm up to chapter 6, maybe 7.
Mhm.
It's a lot of exploring. There's talking. There's puzzles. It's funny. I was saying this to you earlier. It almost, in many ways, reminds me of like a big budget Artful Escape, which I actually really like that game. So I kind of like this. It's weirdly.
I can see that. I mean, the visuals are psychedelic.
Yeah.
It's got the rock music. It's got the walking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like a big budget 3D Artful Escape, which if you really like the Artful Escape, like I did, this is like kind of a nice follow-up. It pairs really well with Far Cry 6 because Far Cry 6 is so
it's the
frenzied and big and open and non-linear. Yeah. Well, yes, because it's the two games I'm because it's 2 games I have.
2 games, yeah.
Which, yes, that's what I mean, though. It's like you put those 2 things together, and this is sort of, it's a little bit more low key. It's a little bit more, listening involved. And I like the puzzle solving. I like the characters. I like the Easter eggs.
The characters are good. They've got, I mean, it's good fan service. I find so far it plays an awful lot, the mechanics wise, plays an awful lot like Avengers.
It has some Avengers mechanics. It's almost, I saw someone say it's like they took the Iron Man character and the Black Widow character and smashed them into one character, which I get it. I see that. You only control Star-Lord, for those who are curious, but you can issue combat commands to the rest of your team. And actually, when you are in combat situations, doing that is a lot of fun. I really do like it. I have, 6 moves I could do with my other characters, and I have 3 special moves for my Star-Lord at this point. So there's a lot of stuff you can do when you're in a fight. And I've had 2 big boss battles at this point where you have to like use combinations in a specific way. So there is more combat as you go on, but the beginning of the game is surprisingly slower. But but there are also, like, I just did a stretch, spoiler alert, you go to nowhere, which if you've seen a Guardians movie, you would expect.
They talk about it in the first level already, like 2 or 3 times in the first level, I think.
Yeah, you're not going to do much fighting in nowhere. That's a lot of walking around and going into places and talking to people. Which
the interactions are good between the characters, like the little clips and everything. I just wish it wasn't like. I wish it wasn't so much like the Avengers game. Like just the way that you interact with environments and everything, it just feels similar.
I think the Avengers game was a little less coherent. It wasn't as well thought out, because it had open, had a different end goal than this game has, which this game's end goal is to just finish the game. There's nothing beyond the story, so the story is more cohesive and more well thought out. I think you need to get further along in it. I think you'll like it better once you do that first mission. I like it a lot. The only things that kind of bother me is Star-Lord's hair is distracting because it's tonally off, and Gamora's voice doesn't.
How can hair be tonally off?
Oh, it is. It just doesn't look like his hair. It's too like.
It's like a pompadour.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't like it, and I don't like Gamora's voice. I'm sure the actress
I thought she was pretty good.
She sounds a little too Californian, and she's a little too laid back. It's weird. She doesn't sound like someone who was raised by a military leader. There's something just about it. I don't know. It throws me off. What do you want from me?
I don't know. I think it compares to like those third person Transformers games, not the beat 'em up one that looked like the animated series, but the like War for Cybertron type thing. Do you remember those games? Where
Yeah.
it was like a solid licensed game where you're going through linear levels and you're like, this is good enough of like this type of game, or like that Captain America game.
I think
when
it's
that
probably
came
more
out?
more on par with that Captain America game. I think it's
It's the
better than
same.
the Transformers game.
The Transformers games were fine.
I
I
think
think you will look back and those got like probably 8s when they came out. This is right in that same type of thing.
oh, this game is definitely in the solid 8 range. 100%. I like it a lot. I recommend it. It's gorgeous also. It's graphically very impressive. Finding all the costumes is a lot of fun. And again, if you're a Marvel nerd, specifically like the cosmic Marvel universe,
Mhm.
then there's a lot here for you. And I even recommend this when you're playing the game and you come across like a villain with a name and you don't know who that villain is. I actually recommend Googling it and like looking up who the person is and getting a little bit of background, because you're going to come across villains probably at least 3 times in this game. And you're going to be like, did they make this up for the game? And then you look up and it's like, oh, wow, no, they did not make this up for this game. These are actual characters. How interesting. Just a little bit of, I know it sounds like homework, but that's the kind of stuff I like.
Chibi doesn't like doing that in games.
I
Can you just
never
scan them with the in-game visor and it tell you that
You
stuff?
can scan them with the in-game visor.
Perfect.
It would be cool if when you scan them, it said stuff like first appearance, Guardians of the Galaxy 6, 2007. That actually would be a nice touch, but it unfortunately does not do that. It should. I will agree with you.
Yeah, I can't believe I don't have the opportunity to ignore that information.
You know what? It's a very me game. It's not
I'm glad-
necessarily a you game.
I'm glad that your review request came in,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm glad that you're enjoying it.
Thank you for both of those things.
Yes.
You didn't get any glitches in yours though?
No, mine hasn't. I know you said yours crashed once. That is not the only glitch I had once was, and it was more probably, I hate to say my fault than the game's fault, is I wanted to see the difference between performance mode and visual mode to see how different the visuals looked.
Mhm.
And when I turned on visual mode, like a little bit of the visor got stuck in the back of Star-Lord's head and it didn't go away until I hit the next cutscene. So I think that may have just been though because I changed the 2 modes mid-level.
Yeah, mine I was in a cutscene / quick time events, like where you're choosing what his response is going to be,
Mm.
and I chose my response, but then he just kind of like he was sitting in the like captain's chair in the Milano, and he just kind of like stood up, and was just standing there, and that wouldn't do anything else, just stood up, and that was where my game ended.
And just because people are asking, I'm playing on the Xbox Series X and Shipwreck is playing on a PlayStation 5. So
Word.
Yep.
What else
fun
we got?
game though. I recommend it if you're into it.
It sounds like it's good. It's been getting good
It is
reviews.
good.
I'm glad. I was worried that it was going to be horrible.
Yeah, it is. It is
want it.
not horrible.
It's not. We need games to be good.
Put that
Enough of
on the
these
back
bad
of the
games.
box. It
Yep.
is not horrible.
Excellent. Excellent.
You could put that on the back of a Guardians box.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it fits.
Yeah.
I like the back. Well, anyway, I don't want to talk too much more about it.
What else we got in new releases?
I'm looking.
They came out with Toy Soldiers again, the original game, but now in HD.
Oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good news.
$30.
Good news.
no.
We've got
Crazy.
a Whip Smart Spank Banky review that's a new release, and it's called Neptunia times Senran Kagura Ninja Wars. Yes, is on the PS4, and he really likes it. It's his hot pick of the week. It's a Musu style hack and slash combined with an RPG, and you can sit on top of a giant peach in your underwear and balance yourself to earn combat bonuses. He really liked it. He said the women have large breasts and they are cat girls. He likes cat girls and large breasts. So if you like that too, you're going to like Neptunia Senran Kagura. Right, Chip?
Yeah. I think that's No doubt about that.
Right.
I
I was
don't
surprised
know.
that this wasn't a Switch game. Maybe it's on Switch too, though. It probably is, because what's not on
Probably.
Switch?
Yeah, I would assume so.
This just happens to be one of those games that's on the Switch and also on other platforms, which is usually not the case. All right. Any other new releases?
I don't think so. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
they're
kind of
real-
weird, like that. I look at that release list. I mean, the new NASCAR came out, but that and Guardians kind of had this week to itself.
Good.
It was a good week for Guardians to come out. So basically,
Nice.
yep, good week for it's. So yeah, Guardians. That's it.